personal friend of mine and a very great comedian. Let's bring Albert up to the stage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Albert, I was just going by the order on the list, sir. If that
Excellent.
okay.
Yeah, no,
I
I thought there were some unrecorded people. You know, you get them out of the way first.
No, we've got Albert Litt, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him some love.
Albert Linton. And one more time for Patty. Extraordinary. Always funny. Always eventful. Always thoughtful. How you guys doing? I don't really give a fuck. I just like to use that as an opening. How y'all doing? I don't care. So that's my first joke right there. And so I have some stuff that I was working on earlier today after I smoked a joint for the 10th time. And anyway, so when I left Florida, I moved to New York, and I can still remember the original train ride I took from Jacksonville to New York. And it was the best ride that I've ever had in my entire life. And I've flown and I've taken cars and so forth. But it was taking me away from the plantation of Florida to the ghetto of New York City. So it was like jumping out of the frying pan and into the fucking fire. Yeah, it was a real example of that. I recall that in Florida, we fought civil rights. I was marching and shit like that, marching and taking pot shots at the cops and invading establishments where it said no blacks allowed, where it said no Negroes, no coloreds, or in the parks where, like Confederate Park, where I used to hang out. Well, I couldn't hang out there because it was a public park, and if you were black, you couldn't hang out there. But I went there anyway because I was young and I didn't know. In Confederate Park, it was in the center of Jacksonville. It was the only place where Confederate money could still buy shit. You could buy like a ride on the Dixieland Ferris wheel, or you could hang out at the let's hang a nigga shade tree all the way to the center of the cup. So anyway, in 1963, President Johnson signed civil rights legislation, and all of those signs that said colored here, white there, whites only, coloreds only, all that shit disappeared overnight. It was gone the next fucking day. And I could do anything I want. So I went to Confederate Park to hang out. And I saw this little white girl, and she was attracted to me, and I was attracted to her. And we kind of like just melded toward each other, and then this old white guy said, "What's wrong with you, nigga? Get the fuck out of here!" And I said, "Damn, I'm not going to get that pussy." So I left right then, That's kind of dude I was. I was always doing shit. I was always outside of the box, and that's why I spent so much time in juvenile detention. And while the last time I was there, I wrote down a goal. And the goal was, I'm going to have girls around me all the time, wherever I go, whenever I get out of here. I swear, that was the goal I wrote. It was the only fucking thing I wrote. So when I got out, and I couldn't fit back into society because of the shit that I had done, and it was heinous, they decided it was best to get my ass out of town, so they sent me to New York. And that's when I got addicted to heroin. So from 1964 to about 1975, I was addicted to heroin, marijuana, cigarettes, and sugar. Sweet drinks. Right. I think sugar was actually my first addiction. How am I doing on time? Because this is taking a little longer. Anyway, so when I got to New York, there was the heroin epidemic. And we weren't fighting civil rights. We were fighting the CIA because our neighborhood was flooded with those drugs. And there is no way that the guys in Mexico could have come from Colombia and get that many drugs in this country without the government knowing about it. Because if you haven't figured it out yet, we live in a police state, and they watch every fucking thing we do. The only thing that gets into this bubble is what they want to get into this bubble. And at that time period, in 1964, that wasn't the beginning of the civil rights movement. That was the beginning of the black nationalist movement, which was an offshoot of the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement was led by people like Martin Luther King. Black nationalist movement was led by people like Eldridge Cleaver. Black Panthers, as opposed to the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. So in New York, they were very strong. So I was thrown into that mix, and I got hooked on heroin. And all I did every day was fuck. I swear. I fucked my way through high school, and then I had fucked so much. I mean, I had so many girls. It was like I could leave my baby's mama. All right, I'd go to her house to see my baby, and between she lives like 145th, I lived 142nd. And in that 2-block area before I got to her house, I'd get late like 4 times on a daily basis. And then I'd get there. I was a complete mess. I was a heroin addict, but no one could tell because I didn't shoot. I only sniffed. But I had to have it every fucking day. And if I didn't have it, I made plans to get it. So that was all of that. The government was planning some shit that we later found out that the CIA and some other government organizations were concerned about the mixture in New York City because there were a lot of radicals, communists, Muslims, for lack of a better term, that wanted to destroy shit. And so they started, how can we contain this? Well, they have all the drugs in the world. Yeah, I mean, I may be sober and talking about revolution, but you give me a joint, I ain't talking about shit. I'm not doing a damn thing. Who's going to fight when they're high? Nobody. You're going to sit back. So that's what happened. That's what happened. I graduated high school, and then I moved to Iowa because it was farther away from New York City. I was accepted at Susquehanna University, which was like 2 miles north of New York City. But I had so many husbands trying to kill me for fucking their wife. I swear. I chose Iowa to save my fucking life because niggas would be throwing bricks off buildings at me. I was walking, and this shit was not coincidental because it happened so often. And it was because when they went to work, their wives sought me out. And I was like this young buck of a thing. I really looked good, you know. I didn't. I was okay. I was an available dick. That's what I was. Right? That's what they wanted. I wanted pussy. They wanted dick. Boom, match. The husbands didn't like it, so I had to leave town, and that's why I moved to went to school in Iowa State University. A great school, by the way. The school that graduated George Washington Carver. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he's credited with having saved the economy of the South, of the Confederacy, after the Civil War, because the Union just wrecked that shit. The Union just kicked it. The Union went down south and fucked up everything they saw, and the Southern soldiers were powerless to actually stop them. The Confederates didn't stand a fucking chance from the beginning, and they were the only motherfuckers who didn't know it. By the time the Union soldiers finished, there was no fucking economy. George Washington Carver came in and he planted sweet potatoes, and they flourished. And based on that, they started making hundreds of different products, and the economy grew back, and they started doing what people do, making money. So that's the school I went to. And what do you think I did at that school? I got laid every fucking day. I got laid. I was only there because I didn't want to go to Vietnam. This was during the war, and you had an option. Excuse me. It was called selective service. You got this letter in the mail, and in that letter it told you what your classification was, and everybody dreaded the 1A, because that meant your ass was going to the Army. I was 1A. When you're in that category, you now have 2 choices. You can go to the military, or you can go to college. And I said, wow, let's see, I can go to Vietnam, risk getting my ass shot off, or I can go to college and definitely get my dick sucked every day. All day. Wow, this is a tough decision. College over here, Vietnam, fuck that. So that's why I was in college, man, and that's all I did. Got high, got laid, and then I had to buckle down and after my second year to study, get the grades up so I could graduate. And then I attended law school in Texas. That's how I got to Texas. So I got laid. That's all I did in college. Anyway, that's it for me, right?
That's it.
Hey, thanks a lot.
All right.
Let's welcome Patty back to the stage.
Let's keep it moving for Albert.
There you go.
Come on.
I just revealed my heart and soul to you.
Come on, give it up for Albert. Yeah, man. What a coincidence. Hey, Kenzie is here. Thank God. It's Albert. It sounded like you were being heckled by a traffic jam.
It was.
Wow. Yeah, it's it's unusual that you bring up the whole history of drug use, because tonight is a free cocaine night here at the LA School of Comedy. Here. I only have about a quarter gram left, so some of you are going to have to leave. all that hoi polloi about, angry husbands. I'm married. I've been married like 31 years. But I know I have the right wife because I married the wrong one first. Because my ex-wife, who for legal reasons I must refer to as plaintiff, she was a complicated woman. You might have known her because women don't need to speak to communicate. The cracks will appear in your relationship, and it's up to you to notice them. Like my ex-wife, she started to show up about 4:30 in the morning, a couple times a week with her wedding ring on the wrong finger. Finally, I said, "What is your wedding ring doing on the wrong finger?" She said, "It's because I married the wrong man," which is disheartening. And I kind of knew that our relationship was not going to work. It was a mixed relationship for the time. I'm an Irish Catholic, and she was a sadistic Jehovah's Witness. She couldn't get off unless I slammed the door in her face. So, you guys can take your time with that. That one will catch up with you. But listen, before we do that, I need a little mock enthusiasm for you. I'm going to go on 3. We need some mock enthusiasm. Are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3, give it to me! I just met Spencer last week, but very funny comedian, really enjoy you. Keep it going. Let's bring Spencer to the mic, and let's hear the love in the room, shall we?
Wow. That's also last week isn't Monday. I'm new here. I moved from New York. You spend a lot of time in New York. You spend time in LA. You look around. You realize moving sucks. It's a lot of work. I noticed I haven't driven anybody in a really long time, but I did grow up in California, so I've known how to drive forever. And I was thinking about it, because every time a car honks, every time a car makes noise, I didn't notice this until I was driving my roommate to the pharmacy last night, but I will apologize. And they can't hear me, but a car will honk, and I will go, "I'm so sorry." And she's like, "What did you do? I was like, "I don't know who that is, but I feel like I should say something." I went to an open mic last night at a very different place, and I talk about being trans on stage all the time. I'm very used to it, and I'm very visible in public, and so people will say, "Hey, can I ask you something?" Which is usually bad. Like, usually they shouldn't, but I'm so curious, so I say yes, because I want a story for later. And so this man comes and he's like, "Hey, Spencer," I'm walking to my car and I turn around and I'm like, "Oh, what's it gonna be?" He's like, "Can I ask you something?" I'm like, "Yes." And he says, "Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to transition?" I'm like, "Well, this is what I think, this is what I feel." He's like, "Bad idea. Don't do it. It's really hard." And I was like, "Thank you, you're proving your own point." And yeah, he interrogated. We talked a little bit, and I feel like I'm doing a service to the next trans person that he talks to, giving him a little information. And he stops, he goes, "You know what, actually, I'm realizing now that you're more stable than most people who want to transition. So now I know he's wrong about 2 things." I live with my roommate, who's one of my best friends from high school, and she has this cat, and the cat loves me, and I am so allergic. And so the cat thinks I'm a bitch. I sit on the couch, because I tutor online, that's my job right now. I sit on the couch, the cat climbs up next to me, and I have to put the cat down on the floor, very gently, so that I don't, yes, I'm so sad to do it, and the cat is so sad. So she hops back up next to me again, and I have to put her back down. And I go upstairs, and she follows me. Here's the thing, it gets worse. She is a very old cat, and so she struggles with her back leg, so she has to struggle to get up the stairs to sit next to me. And I say, "No," and she goes, "Meow." And I go, "No." She goes, "Meow." And I feel so awful because she just does not understand. So I go back down the stairs so that maybe she'll rest up there. She follows me down the stairs. I go back up the stairs, and she follows me up the stairs. And I think at least this way she has some adventure. We've been hiking together to the best of her ability. I generally like being an SAT tutor, but it's also hard to motivate students to do the SAT because it's the SAT. Nobody wants to do it. And so a girl I was tutoring the other day was asking me, she was like, why, like, this question doesn't make any sense, it's pointless, why do I have to do it? And I was like, look, it shouldn't be this way, but it is if you get a higher number on this thing. It's easier to get into a brand name college, and it makes you look better to employers. It shouldn't be true because you're 18 now. And she's like, what job is going to care about an SAT score? And I have to, like, hide my expression, but she sees me, she goes, SAT tutor. That's the only one. I am in a pyramid scheme. If anyone wants to ask me about supplements in my garage, they're great. Talk to me after the show. I hear from a lot of older people that social media is like the end days and the worst thing now. And they're right, it's pretty bad. My least favorite app, I think the most destructive one, is Venmo. Because everyone always looks so successful. They look like they're doing so well. They're sending payments, you know what people are up to. A while ago, it was a Friday, I asked my friend if she wanted to go out. And she was like, oh no, like I'm not feeling well, like I just have to stay in. And then it's Friday, I have nothing to do, so I'm just scrolling through the social feed on Venmo. You can see when people pay each other. If you haven't, I mean, you Venmo here, maybe it's on private, but if it's on public, I can see if I look through. And I noticed she Venmo'd another friend 2 dancing girls and a champagne bottle. That's not what penicillin looks like. And see, everyone's having fun without me. My mom and I are trying to be closer in our relationship. So we were going to go dress shopping together. But she lives a few states away. So we decided to like send images back and forth online, which is kind of like a good enough on our relationship. And that's where we're at. Has anyone here, and I'm looking at the audience, I mean, probably a minority of the crowd, has anyone here seen, like, shopped online for, like, boutique clothing shops? Mm-hmm. Have you seen that they, like, name the clothes items after people? Mm-hmm. There's a Brandy Melville down the street, you can double check, but they'll have a top and it's named, like, Melissa, or, like, a dress and it's called, like, Danielle. I got those in high school when I wanted to be like all the other girls, and I thought that would do it. But some shops will go beyond the names and just, like, call the dress things. There was one store, and it was, like, I forget the name, it was, like, a Lily Pulitzer knockoff, which was great, because they were pretty cheap, and, like, they wouldn't last, so I wouldn't have to feel guilty about not wearing them again. And I didn't realize how weird the names were until I had to send them to my mom. Like, there was one where it was, like, True Passion Red. But the dress was cute, you know? It was like Still a Virgin, pink. Kicked a dog in the cemetery at midnight, blue maxi dress. But it's really cute. I don't hate animals, I promise. I just noticed the theme. That's it for tonight. Thank you so much.
Hey, go! Did we lose the mic stand?
Oh, I put it behind
Oh, there it is. Okay. Keep it going. Come on, for Spencer. Let's see what we got going. Hey. I just so you guys know, this is the portion of the LA School of Comedy's open mic night where all of you, just look at me and feel a little bit better about yourself. It's my gift to you. Drink it in. Savor it in. Savor it. Okay. Chef's kiss. Ah! There you go. Give me a round of applause now, you guys. Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, relationships are hard. You know, I have a hard time sometimes with my wife. But she made a suggestion. She said that there's a machine I can buy that revs up a woman's sex drive. Mercedes E-Class convertible. Hey, listen, you guys, I need you to up the ante a little bit because this next comedian, first of all, he's got one of my favorite names. And he's like half comedy team superstar, half political burglar. His name is Ollie Alderman. Give him some love. Come on! Come on! I made a Watergate reference.
I think so.
You're the first Irishman that's like the name Ollie or Oliver, so usually I get some.
Well, Cromwell did something to my people.
He
yes.
did a few things, but how's it going, everyone? Growing up, I used to get strep throat and like all these illnesses all the time, and I'd always get these super high fevers associated with this, which was obviously a bummer for all the obvious reasons. And if you've ever had a fever, obviously you know how bad it is. You know, you get like crazy nightmares, all that stuff. I would get a next level to it where I'd start to hallucinate. So like my hands would feel massive. Like I would be laying in bed with a fever and like I would pick up a pencil and it would feel like it was the size of a baseball bat. Like these are all real things that would happen. And so I'd turn to my parents and be like, why do I have, like, it felt like I had Hulk hands on. And so eventually having, you know, like average to decent parents, they were like, all right, let's take this kid to the doctor. And so we went to the doctor, and this was like the mid 90s when I was, you know, 4 or 5. And the doctor, no real internet at the time, starts thumbing through the book and finally guessed at something because he didn't really know what it was, looked up the symptoms, and he was like, yeah, based on everything you told me, this is a real thing called Alice in Wonderland syndrome. Has anyone ever heard of this before? Okay. And so it's some people have had it, but kind of rare, random. I've unfortunately told some friends this, and you know, like most friends, if they're good friends, they're assholes. So they've taken advantage of this quite a bit. So they know I have this this thing where still, like to this day, like I'll like grab something that's bigger than it should be or smaller, and I'll get like a quick twinge back to the good old fever days. And so they'll fuck with me this way, and they'll I'm sure you've seen like the text messages people send out where it's a fake news article, and then you click the link and it sends you to like, usually it's like a picture of like a big dick or something, but in this instance, like they'll send me something and it's like, you know, it'll be a catchy news article like, you know, Hurricane Ian rips Florida off America or something, which, you know, might actually be pretty good, but so I'll click it and I open it up and it's just like the world's largest coffee mug, and I'm like, oh shit, and it gives me a quick flashback to like when I was grabbing like the pencil that I thought was a baseball bat. So they're pretty bad people. One that I get it's actually pretty funny, and sure you've probably seen this one too, is the picture of Andre the Giant holding the soda can, where it makes the soda can look like a Barbie soda can. Yeah. So that's exactly what I experienced when I did it, when I had those fevers, and Alice in Wonderland syndrome. The other one they'll do, like I was out to dinner a month ago, and and we got some oysters, and they'll send the little fork out. And my friends were like, oh, it's all the opportunity. They grabbed the little fork and the big fork, and they're like, Ollie, and they hold both up, and I'm like, oh shit, fuck, and it like brings me right back to when I had those fevers. So it's pretty miserable. I think, you know, it's fine for like the medical community to start labeling like childhood traumas after Disney movies like Alice in Wonderland. Like it helps you understand like what went on without telling you your brain's swelling and that you know might have a seizure. There's like, oh, Alice in Wonderland syndrome, you'll be all right there, buddy. But I think it's dangerous if this gets out to like other parts of the community. Like people start taking advantage of this. You know, there's like a kid playing his front lawn and he gets kidnapped. He's in the back of the van and he, you know, finally shakes around, gets to this smelly basement, and some guy takes the blindfold off him, and he wakes up and he's like, holy shit, like what just happened? He's like, am I getting kidnapped? And they're like, no, you're just experiencing Finding Nemo syndrome. Yeah, we and you're like, oh my god, like thank God. They're like, yeah, we got you with that net, and you know you'll be here for a while, and then you'll get out and your buddies will follow you. Don't worry, it's just Finding Nemo syndrome. You like turn to you're like, and the kid next to you is like shaking. You're like, oh no, don't worry, it's just Finding Nemo syndrome. I'm shark bait. What's going on? That's always I think to just stay in the medical community. People that like kidnappers, obviously, and other people out there doing bad stuff. I'm sure you'll hear this a lot, like bank robbers or like hackers. You'll like hear on the nightly news, people will be like Lester Holt will get on and say, in recent news out of Russia, bad actors were able to hack into the Dunkin' Donuts corporate headquarters system and exploit thousands of millions of customer records and all of their banking information. And I always take issue with the fact that they call these people bad actors. You know, like keep in mind, these are like Russian guys in their mid-20s from Russia with Russian accents, calling into a Boston-based company pretending to be a white CEO. And, you know, I kind of picture them calling in. They're like, "Oh, this is Nick. This is fucking Nick, CEO of Dunkin'. How are you, sweetheart? Yeah. No, don't worry about the Russian number. Yeah, no. Yeah, me and the boys, we're just out here in Moscow. Turns out the Russians fucking love Dunkin'. So yeah, wire us a couple million, and we'll get this venture started." So again, these people they're solid actors. And I don't think they deserve enough. They don't get enough credit or time in the spotlight that they deserve. You know, like there's some pretty shitty acting out there, like, you know, in movies and TV today. And they have their Golden Globes, they have their Emmys. But I think these folks deserve their own section. So I think every year they should have, you know, like, you know, wherever they hold it, like the Kremlin, and, you know, they're like welcome to this year's 2022 felonies with our host, Vladimir Putin. And, you know, Vladimir will get up there and he's like, all right, for this year's bank heist of the year, it goes to Muggsy from London, England. And, you know, he'll I think it was Scottish towards the end there as I was transitioning to England. And so they'll get up there and they'll, you know, they should, as their actors, treat it like, you know, it's their full experience. They're like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. You know, this was such a great experience. I couldn't be here without like a few people that supported me through this entire process, particularly Teresa, who was able to, you know, steal all of her high school props department for the fake guns and the security costumes. So takes a village. So appreciate you guys." So I think those folks deserve a little bit more spotlight. Another thing that bugs me a little bit is when you go to the movies and in the first couple of minutes, it's just all text that you have to read for the first 2 minutes. You're like, that is the opposite reason for why I came to the movies. I didn't want to read. I wanted you to show me the pictures and make the noises and tell me the story. And for, you know, someone, and it's kind of a bummer. Like I kind of have flashbacks to like elementary school where I was a shitty reader, not the best now, but better. And where you'd be sitting in class and I'm still scared in the movie theater someone's going to be like, all right, for the next paragraph, popcorn Oliver. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I have to get up and read the whole second thing to the entire theater. So I think you should it's all right. You can show dates, you can show 2 years from now, but full text, I think it's a little lazy and honestly hurtful to me. So, in elementary school, when I was a bad reader, we had, I don't know if anyone else struggled with reading growing up, but we had like something called the reading lab, which they tried to make it sound like sick, but it was awful. So you'd be in 4th grade and you'd be in the, you know, the best class, which is usually when they take you out because it was usually a useless class. And they'd be like, all right, Oliver, we got to go to the reading lab. And you got to bring a friend with you for moral support, which is, looking back on it, really sad for that friend that I had to bring because I just had to associate them now with me being a you know, bad student. I'm pretty sure my parents probably slipped them $20 or something just to keep their mouth shut. But you'd get to the reading lab and you'd sit in, and it was a room with no windows, which I don't know if that's part of the process, but, you know, worked for me being a little less distracted, I guess. And you'd sit down and they'd be like, and usually they'd start with syllables, so they'd be like, all right, Oliver, let's say reading and count your syllables, and you're like, reading, and you're like, 2, and they're like, they'd slide you a starburst, like positive reinforcement, and you're like, hell yeah. And then they're like, all right, try your name, and you're like, Oliver, and I'm like, Oliver, and 3, and they're like, all right, 3 starbursts, nailed it, well done. And then, you know, they'd be like, all right, let's try one that's not too hard, see if you can get this one. They're like, failure, and you're like, failure 4, and they're like, no, but also yes. That's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Come on! Ollie Oliver! Let's give a little love. Come on! Congratulations for Ollie. Your Russian sounded like they were from South Boston.
Yeah, I was stuck on Boston.
That's okay. It takes all types. That's for sure. You know what I like? You mentioned like Disney, you know, Disney complexes being turned into conditions. I saw Lady Thor the other, you know, they got a Lady Thor now. Yeah. That's cool though. I like the whole idea of challenging the concept of like, well, like why not? Why can't Lady Thor save the world? You know what I mean? I mean, didn't we all come from a woman? Yeah. Didn't we? You know, why can't they be the hero? I mean, my original hero was my mother. I hold on to things too. Like I still have a joint Costco membership with my mother. She's dead. Either that or she's been ignoring me for the past 18 months. If you knew my mother, you wouldn't find that, you know, too hard to believe. She had what's called a borderline personality with no fucking borders. It's the reason that I'm insanely aroused by and still terrified by Amber Heard. Anyway, let's keep this going. The Amber Heard humor never fails, as you can tell by that fact. Yeah. Once again, looking at me, feeling a little bit better about yourself, aren't we? Aren't we? The whole group of them. Listen, hey, listen. This next comedian is very funny, and you're really going to enjoy her. Miho, come on up to the stage, Miho. Yeah, man. She's preparing her camera. Keep it going for Miho.
Hello. I was gonna say what? Is this on?
No.
It's on.
Oh.
It's
Slightly.
on. Slightly on. I'm from Japan,
Yeah.
and my hometown is kind of known for a ninja village, sort of.
Ooh.
Like back then, there was ninja. But that's what history said. But we don't really know, Ninjas are sneaky. So even family don't know it. So maybe my ancestors are ninja, but who knows, right? There's a manga called Naruto, which is like ninja story anime thing. And then they have famous running. They all running like this. Like, oh my gosh. Doing that.
Hey.
Alright.
There we go.
Yeah, they run like this, and then where's it coming from, right? Masked Ninja runs like that. No! No one runs like that. I don't know, maybe the author runs like that. I don't know why they run like that. No one knows. And then they always wearing fishnet. Like, full fishnet. I don't know why. That's not just Naruto. All the ninjas wear fishnet.
I didn't know that.
I don't know. It's kind of sexy. I don't know. Sneakiness, sexiness goes together, I guess. Like, if you look back Naruto, some characters wearing fishnet. Men and women doesn't matter. It's unisex thing. Like, both genders wear fishnets. It should come back, right? I was wondering the other day, why do they even ever use like plastic bottle or glass bottle for makeup stuff? Like, I can't get it. I want to use all of it. They don't let me. If it was a tube like toothpaste, that would be nice. I'm just being cheap. I'm like, why do they do that? I don't know. There's so many mystery. I wrote it down. I'm Japanese, and Japanese food is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, here it's okay, but if you go to Japan, even better. Like, it's fucking fantastic. Like, that's the only thing I miss about Japan still, right? Los Angeles is super cool, but food in Japan, it's like you own edible and then eat ice cream, but like that together, like, but you don't need a weed. Just eat a food there. That's like a weed with ice. Like, so good. It's fucking so good. I think Alien helped us. Like, it's not what human can achieve. I think like it's different level. Like, my American friends say like, oh no, just because you grew up there, so your nostalgia makes it taste better. Like, no, it's something. It clearly tastes better. Like, we are helped by aliens to develop our food. I love it. But Japanese food in the United States, some restaurant has like Japanese fusion, right? And they don't have chopsticks. Like, that's just stealing the culture. That's culture, which was culture appropriation. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, that shit is not acceptable. Like, udon noodle, like a thick noodle. Those shit are not made for fork. So don't fucking let me eat it with a fucking fork. I don't feel like I'm eating udon noodle. So please to have chopsticks. Don't be so rude. I got nipples. Probably you guys do too. Mine's extra sensitive, and then I appreciate. That's nice. Nice to have a sensitive nipples. If I watch like porn or like stupid porn manga in Japan, like in the daily life, normal life, her nipples get sensitive, and then she go like, I'm turned on. That's what they say. That's what they say. When I don't feel like sexy and my nipples just get sensitive, I want to kill someone. That shit is so disgusting and like just piss me off. So, I want everyone knew that when my nipples are sensitive in a normal life, I'm fucking pissed. God, that really pissed me off. My dad, I love my dad. My mom was a little like Aryan. We didn't have like we speak in Japanese, but we really don't not understanding each other. Like I tell anything, any achievement in my life, my mom is like, I don't really know, but that's cool. That's all she says. So, I love her. I love her, but we are not best friends. So I was good friend with my dad, but he is person with landmine. So like, it's I don't know when he's gonna. So I gotta be really careful. So my dad lived in China for 10 years growing up. So he still like feels bad about it. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry I couldn't be there when you need it. I didn't need it. It was a really great distance to have, and I appreciate we had that distance, so yeah. Once I visited him in China with my friend. We went to zoo. There's a really super cute Chinese bear. I'm like, nothing, so cute. I'm so obsessed after that. And then in the car, we are heading to hotel. So I have this tendency that I grew up kind of ugly. I don't have myself ugly. That fixed up by now, but I'm ugly. So if I can get attention with my talk, I am worthless. So I couldn't stop talking. Like, I must keep fucking talking, right? So I brought up about that cute bear like 6 times in the van. And then at the 6th time, my dad is like, "You're gonna shut up and talking about bear!" Dad, why? The bear was so cute. No! She's bored and then just shut the fuck up and don't talk about a bear! That's why I didn't want to live with you, Dad. Yeah, then after that, we went to the hotel, and then me and my friend were in the same room, and we had a kind of dildo on the corner. Fucking China's hotel, right? They had a dildo. I'm like, oh my god, look at this dildo! I just opened it, right? And after that, I was meeting up with my parents, and they're like, don't touch that dildo on the corner. I mean, he didn't say that dildo, but don't touch that thing on the corner. If you touch it, they're gonna charge you. Shit. What am I gonna do? Like, I don't speak Chinese. I can't pay ahead or anything. Like, what am I gonna do? And then 2 minutes? Alright, we had a translator. She was very pretty. Like, I think my dad had something with her. Maybe not. I don't know. Only he knows what she knows. So I asked her, like, hey, I opened that dildo and I don't know what to do. So she called the hotel and then she paid ahead. Whew. God. Now he doesn't know I didn't open dildo. I am innocent. Yep. Never fucked. Ever. I have that time, so after that, I felt bad, so I gave her some gift. I bought something I gave to her, and my dad is like, "Oh, you guys are really like friends, so you're giving her a gift? That's so sweet." Well, she just covered up my dildo, so. Well, he doesn't have to know, That was a nice trip. China's amazing. All right. I don't know if I had anything else. Something short. Did I have one? Oh yeah. Yeah, I have like 1 minute. No. Squirrel. That word is fucking hard to say. Squirrel. That animal is so cute. Tiny, they're so quick. If I see it and they're running, look at the squirrel. When I'm saying that, they're gone. So we really need a new name for that shit. But I never can tell you. All right, thank you. This is my time. Niho Guji.
Keep it going for Niho. Come on. Squirrel. I don't know if you guys caught on, but apparently in China, sex toys are provided in hotel rooms. You know, like you get your booze cabinet here. They actually is it just dildos? Do they have vibrators too?
Yeah, vibrator too.
In every hotel room.
I don't know that one. At least that one.
And this was a family hotel.
Yeah.
Look, why should we look like my mom? Oh, look, I'm gonna say something. Every woman has a drawer. I would think we know where I'm going with this. Men, we have a closet full of shit, but every woman has a fucking drawer. And when my mom died, you know, you have to clean up and kind of, and she had a drawer, you know. She had an Elvis Presley vibrator. It had sideburns and 2 speeds, Love Me Tender and Jailhouse Rock. Listen, let's keep that laughter going because this next man is a very funny man. I've seen his work before. Aaron, is it Malali? Miali. Aaron Miali, come on up here. Give us some of your comedy stylings, my friend. Come on.
Figure this out. How's it going?
Yeah.
Just writing some new stuff earlier today. Have not memorized it, so it should be fun. I was not prepared. Is this on?
Yeah.
Just sound like
It
it's
doesn't
on.
sound like it is. All right. So my name is Miali. I am Italian. People don't guess that very often, because I am also English, and I think when you put those two things together, it adds up to looking like a Jewy German guy. I look like I celebrate Oktoberfest and Hanukkah, which is an oxymoron. I look like if I was in Poland in the 1930s and I got caught, like the Nazi would be like confused. Like he'd have to call his superior officer over, and they'd have to like do a little huddle and be like, so is this like, are we taking this guy? And the guy's like, fucking, I don't know, dude. I really can't tell. I don't know. What do you want to do? He's like, I don't know, dude. I feel like if we don't take him, then like, and he is, then like we're screwed. But if we do take him and he isn't, then like she's gonna be fucking mad. So they'd be like, you know what? Yeah, you're coming. Anyways. I was with a friend the other day, and we got high on weed. Nothing crazy. We wanted to go to the store because we were hungry, obviously, and we were going through the aisles, whatever. I think we were in the chip aisle, and I was looking at like Doritos on the top shelf, and I was like, I picked out the one that I wanted. I was like, yep, that's the one, and I went to go reach for it. And I realized that I was too short to grab it. And so I just looked at it and I was like, fuck, this is embarrassing. And then I looked at my friend who was 6'2", and then I looked back at the chips, and he just looked at me like, What's wrong? I was like, I can't reach it. He's like, I'm sorry, what did you say? I was like, I can't reach it. And he goes, he grabs it, he throws it in the bag, in the cart, and he goes, fucking midget, and walks away. And I was like, fuck you. God damn it, this is my life. But you know how I get back at the world? I just have sex with tall women.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. There you go.
Don't call them back. That's
Awesome.
That's actually not bad. I wrote that today, so that's good. All right. As a short man, yeah, I feel like we get the short end of the stick. I feel like we're treated like in a comparison, and rightfully so, I guess, that we're treated like children because we're like, obviously we're talked down to, literally and figuratively. Like if you were to go up to a short woman and you were to say, oh, you're so cute and small, she'd be like, oh my god, thank you. Go up to a man who is short, say that to him, and watch him explode. He's gonna be so, and you're gonna be like, oh, he's so cute when he's mad. Like, you wouldn't believe how many times as an adult, as a half-grown adult, that I have been called buddy. I was called bud earlier today. This is such a frequent, like, and it's not like a, like, you're like a fighting thing. You're like, hey, what's up, buddy? Like, you know what I mean? It's like a, oh, thanks, buddy. Tussles my hair. So yeah, we're treated like children. We're always given the assumption that we need help, which, due to my previous story, that is true sometimes. We're talked down to, and then some people just want us to be bottoms. That's how it is. All right, I got to work on that one. Oh, I'm on Tinder. Tinder is a crazy place to be. I was scrolling and I landed on this profile, and her bio just said, I like pinball and getting my tubes tied. It's like, okay, putting it all out there right away, got it. Probably the funniest bio I've ever seen. There was also, you know, I was scrolling on a different, I scroll when I'm on the toilet, by the way. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not a good time. Just like think about going on your first date. You're like, oh, what were you doing when you, or like, what did you think about when we matched? And you're like, that I shouldn't have had that carne asada earlier. Anyways, I saw this other chick. She just had like a giant Raiders tattoo from like here to here. It was like I don't know if you know the Raiders symbol, but it's like a shield with like a pirate on it, and it was like covering her entire abdomen. And I was like, I mean, that shield isn't gonna protect you from getting pregnant, woman. I don't know what it. That is a crazy place to be, and like imagine being with that, like having sex with her, and you're just staring at a pirate's face. You're like, what? At least the tubes tied lady is doing something effective. Like, that's not. By the way, Raiders chick, 3 kids. To be expected. Let's see. I actually forgot. The first time I was here, I didn't know this was 10 minutes, and then wasn't prepared for 10 minutes. I forgot again, and I forgot that it was 10 minutes. But I'll just throw some other stuff in. I used to live in a crack house. I moved in there. I didn't know it was a crack house when I moved in. I mean, if you did, it would be a problem if I did. But so this, I didn't have a place to stay. I was like living at my mom's house. I was trying to move out. My buddy was trying to move into a place too, and so we're like, all right, let's look at places together. He finds this place on Craigslist. Not a great place to find rooms to rent, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And we meet up. It's in Huntington Beach, and it is the most it's not in a neighborhood. It's in the parking lot of a liquor store, which is the weirdest location to have a house. It is a full. It was one story, but it was like a big house with a big yard, and it was just like the garages were just visible from the liquor store. My next door neighbor was Bushmills. I don't even know like who builds this house. And, like the backyard of it was like a empty lot. Anyway, so we meet up with the person, and she's wearing like fake Gucci. She has 3 Chihuahuas, and we're like, all right, whatever. She's offering a room for $900, and we're gonna share it. This is the same buddy that called me a midget. He's 6'2", and we're sharing this like. It's like a 7 foot by 7 foot room, and we both have like twin beds. We're paying $900, so it's cheap, so it's whatever. And we're talking to this chick one night, and she's like, I think we should get a maid. And I was like, I think we should just clean up after ourselves. And she flipped out. She was like, no, we're getting a fucking maid. Like, this is my house. You don't even know. This was like a week in, and we were both like, fuck, that's a bad decision. Later down the line, say a couple months after she started talking to us again, we found out that she was a prostitute and that she was staying there because the owner of the house had hired her, and he didn't want his wife. He didn't want his wife to know. So he was like, all right, just stay at this house. I'll pay you like your free rent. You're good. And she wasn't the property manager, which we thought she was. And then once we found that out, we were like, all right, cool. We can do whatever the fuck we want. And she didn't. I don't think she knew, because she would just come up with guys that. Like, she would be like, this is the property manager. It's like some 20-year-old kid that she met on Tinder. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm the property manager. You need to pay her. And we're like, go fuck yourself. Like, and then she would bring a different guy, which is hilarious, because it's like, okay, you just lied to us about the first guy. What makes you think we're going to just be like, oh, this second guy, yeah. No, okay, he looks like the second guy was like tatted, and he was like, yo, I'm the fucking property manager. And I was home alone, and I was like, yo, no, you're not. And I just like shut my door, and he started slamming on it. It was a crazy time. What do I got? Like 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
Okay, fuck. I want to have sex with a pregnant woman. See it? Now it gets... Okay, hold on. Just give me a sec. Every time I say that, that's what happens. It gets very... It's a little tough to say to people. People don't like it. People act like sex with a pregnant woman kills the baby. I'm not a threat down there. Basically... I'm working with like a useful tool and not like a dangerous weapon, is basically what I'm saying. So in the worst case, if I had sex with a pregnant woman, it would be like a bad roommate situation where, the baby's just trying to fall asleep, but it can't because it hears banging on the walls. And it's like, damn, I need to move out. This bitch keeps bringing dicks over. It's not fun. All right, I need to change that. All right, cool. Thank you. Aaron Mealy, thank you.
Aaron Mealy, come on! Keep it going for Aaron. Come on, man. Hey, man. Gee, I've been a crack house or two in my day, but that must have been a fancy crack house. They were considering actually hiring help. That must be a West LA crack house. What? I have this problem in other. Hey, here I am. I'm back. Listen to that. Listen to that. Well, listen here. Well, you can give me some love. The whole bunch of these distracted bastards. Come on. You get what you get. You get what you get. We've got our headliner coming to the stage, and I'm gonna just I'm gonna come out and say something. I'm not the least bit homosexual, but this man is hot. Hot. If he ever goes back to jail, I want to go with him. He's a hot fucking guy, and also a lot of people do not know that he is a published author. You can actually buy his book on Amazon. It's called The Business End of the Glory Hole. You might want to check that out. Coming to the stage right now, the one and the only Kenzie, baby. Come on!
I hate when you bring me up and you hype me. That's too much hype. That's too much calling me hot, and everybody's just gonna be focused on how I look and not my words, the importance of my words. Hey, come on. I'm not an author. Sorry I was late. I was out front honking during Albert's set. Trying to throw him off. A little monkey wrench in there. Get you to step up your game. It was Aaron?
Yeah.
Aaron, Matt, I feel like you could become the voice of short kings everywhere. Like
It's my goal in life.
I'm seeing the potential, just you and Tom Cruise. Just bossing it up, short king, and yeah. What is like, have you looked up the like height cutoff for, does anybody know? I guess not just you, but do y'all know the height cutoff for short king versus like not?
Oh, like a midget.
Is it like,
No, like short. I've looked this up because if there's a chance ever that I'm gonna pass as a man, I need to know if that's gonna be my reality.
yeah, one of the dudes.
So
you could become a short
5'5"
king.
to 5'8" is what I've read.
For short king?
Yeah. Do you think that's
5'5"
true?
to
Is that your
5'8"?
experience?
Yeah.
I've only Googled it. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
That's the official short king window.
That's what I've read on the internet.
Maybe give it a
5'5" to
5'4".
5'8". I broke out by half an inch. Broke out by half an inch, baby. I'm average. Alright, so yeah. Alright, thanks for doing the research. Thanks for doing the good work. I started working from home recently. So if anybody here wants to sit on my face, you know where to find me. I'll be at the library. Yeah, I feel like working from home, working a corporate job from home is like really close to being an OnlyFans porn star. Like they got a lot of similarities. If you're working from home, corporate job, you're just getting paid to jerk off around the house. Being an OnlyFans porn star, you're getting paid to jerk off around the house. Both, good lives. Both aren't really contributing too much to society overall. I need to work this bit out. But like their output into society isn't like. There's not much of value. There's like momentary pleasure for like the people paying the OnlyFans porn stars, sure, but that's like momentary pleasure. It's all like psychological. There's no like actual physical, tangible thing that they're producing, much like the corporate working from home person. I don't know. There was a study saying like over 40% of middle managers in the US feel like their job is useless and like doesn't mean much, and these are like well-paid people, like 6 figures, like middle management in giant corporations. They admitted that their jobs are useless, like, and that's only 40% ish of them. You know, if I got that survey, I would not admit to that, because who's putting out the survey? Is it my boss that's putting out the survey? Like, you know, it's like putting your job at risk. So 40% of middle management are idiots. At least that. Yeah, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent there. This has been a fun night here at LA School of Comedy. Very, very chill. It's been very, yeah, this Wednesday. It's been a crazy week. What's up? All right, let's move through some bits. Yeah. Okay. Where do I go from there? I don't know. I smoked a whole joint before leaving my house, hence why I'm late. So, yeah, I wasn't actually in that traffic jam out front. That was a bad excuse. I was getting high and rapping. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I wanna get better at talking dirty. I really do, but I haven't found the time to practice. You know, and that might sound like I'm not getting laid, you know, but I am. Let me let you know. I do be fucking. Okay. All right. You know, it's just. I don't know. I'm afraid, like, while doing it, you know, like, if it's going well, it's going really good. You know, sometimes, pretty much every time. I've got a pretty good track record, sex-wise. Yeah, there's maybe been two off days, but I was young. I've learned. Since then, yeah, high quality fucking is going down. I'm making love. Nobody's faking shit. I can tell a fraud, you know. Sometimes there's some good liars out here in LA. Fuck me. I gave this chick $2. She was like, actually, can you wire me some money? Like, it was crazy. She was like, something so sad just happened. I need some money. And I was like, here's $2. And she was like, actually, I need more than $2. Can you wire me money? So I fell for some bullshit that time. But most of the time I can tell a fraud. Okay, most of the time I can tell a fraud. Okay, where was I? Good track record, yeah. I'm out there slinging good dick. It's great. To bring it back to that, yeah, I'm trying to get better at talking dirty. So I'll be having, like, you know, passionate sex, and I want to, like, talk dirty. You know, I want to say something, but I'm afraid it's gonna throw the mood off. And, like, why ruin a good thing just because I want to maybe amp it up a little bit? So, like, I don't know. Like, I'll be doing it, and then I'm like, no. How do I want to set this up? But yeah. Thanks for bearing with me, everybody. Okay. So, let me consult my notes. Okay, yep. I'm gonna take it back to I do be fucking. And I'm nervous that it's not gonna go well if I start talking dirty. You know, because what if I, like, overemphasize a word that I don't want to? Because it's like physical activity. Like, I'm thrusting, and, like, you know, just speaking alone is hard enough at times. So speaking while thrusting and making it sexy, it's just, like, up the level. Dirty talk is difficult. It's not an easy thing to just whip out. You know, you can't just whip it out like a dick. So, okay, 2 minutes? Cool. All right. When I practiced this bit, it was 2 minutes. All right. Okay. But yeah, you can't just whip it out. So I'm afraid I'm gonna, like, emphasize a word. Like, what if I go to say, like, you know, I'm, like, thrusting, and I'm like, oh yeah, it feels so good when I slide into that wet pussy. You know, I say something like that, you know? But then, like, what if I overemphasize a word, you know? Like, ooh, yeah, it feels so good to slide into that wet pussy. Okay, we got through that. Thanks, guys, for getting through that with me. That was that bit, the overemphasis of words. God. I'm bombing. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna work that out. I probably got a minute. That's actually, yeah, that's all I wanted to work out, actually. Yeah. Alright, that's LA School of Comedy! Thank you, everybody, for coming out and listening. You made a great crowd. Give it up for your host, Patty.
Yeah, keep it going for Kenzie.
Keep it going for Patty. Keep it going for Patty and this mic.
Wow. Woo. That was sexy. Wasn't that sexy? I don't know. Sexy. I just like to say sexy. And you know, I don't know if it's just me, but I can't get this mental picture of ninjas wearing fishnets out of my head. It's like there, it won't go anywhere. I talk dirty, you know, with my wife. I say, you know, sexy talk. I say, like, hold still, this won't take long. Stuff like that. I've been married for a long time. I'm what you call, like, an evolved heterosexual. Hey, let's take a moment and clap for the heterosexuals for making us all possible.
Yeah.
Where would we be without them? None of us would be here, that's for sure. But I'm an evolved heterosexual. By that I mean, I know, Ollie, I know that no means no. 31 years of marriage. I know even yes means probably fucking not. You guys have been great, and I mean that sincerely. Each and every one of you has been fantastic. If people tell you you're funny, you're probably funny. Come on down to the LA School of Comedy and put it up there. Put it on the stage. See what happens. Roll it around. Let people see it. And, you know, come on and laugh. We will all laugh together. Let's laugh one more time together, shall we? Involuntarily. Let's just fake it. Okay, I lost you. That's okay. That's all right. But listen, you guys have been great. God bless you. I hope the least you ever get is the most you ever wish for. If you want some more Patty, I will be appearing at Venice and Sepulveda in front of the 7-Eleven next to the Red Box a little later this evening. And if you want to find me on the gram, it's PADDYFORCOMEDY. Once again on Instagram. Hey, good night. God bless.
I have an idea for that last one.
People.
The